welcome to the Make More Noise podcast, as yet unnamed. If you have any suggestions, do let us know. Answers on a postcard, please.
We're like thinking, make more noise, more noisy ladies, noisy podcast, something with the blog name, playing with it. But we haven't got any ideas as yet.
If we pick your suggestion, you'll get a prize. That is a lie. You'll just get a shout out, but a name we will have. It's me, Sobering Maid.
And me, DJ Lippy.
We decided to start our inaugural podcast with an Agony Ant section, and we put a bit of a shout out to you guys. Do you have a wider question about the feminist movement that is upsetting you? Do you have questions or concerns about this capitalist society we live in? Did the bin man not come? We can link it back to patriarchy somehow.
So we put a shout out. We were hoping for a problem or a question, but we got a lot of likes, a lot of retweets, but we didn't get any questions. So I went off on the internet yesterday to search for some well-known Agony Ant letters. Is that what they're called? Yeah, letters. And I found some of the best ones, and I thought we'd have our own. We'd give it a trial. A feminist take on famous letters.
So what's the first one?
Okay, you like this one. I'm a 63-year-old married man. Are there any medicines to sexually excite a woman? I have a 50-year-old neighbour who could benefit from it, as she has lost her desire to have sex. Do help.
Well, I mean, it's David Cameron's big society, isn't it? He cares about his neighbour. He wants his neighbour. I mean, I don't know why he's so concerned about his neighbour's sex life when he's married. Is he asking for roofies? I wonder. That's just occurred to me.
I think there are so many questions with this question. I don't know what he's hoping his response will be. I don't know. Maybe you should speak to a gynecologist.
Does he want a unicorn for like him and his wife? Is that what this is about?
He doesn't mention anything about it. I think he's just a, like, dirty old man neighbour who wants to shag his neighbour, but she's not interested in him. Oh
my God, do you think she's told him that she has like a medical condition when really she's just trying to reject him?
Yeah, but do it really kindly, like, oh no, since my husband died, I've no interest in sex anymore.
But I'd love to have sex with you, Gary. I'd love it. I just can't
anymore since the divorce.
And then Gary's gone and writing in, putting his desires out for all to see. You know, I wonder what goes through these men's heads when they write in. Do they think, yes, this is a reasonable question. I'm going to tell somebody about this and I'm going to ask. Like, what is going through their heads?
I don't know.
Do we have an answer for Gary? I've called him Gary. I have no idea what his name is.
Sounds like a Gary, doesn't he? Stop bothering your neighbours.
Gary, stop it.
He doesn't mention his wife.
Yeah, how does she feel? Does she know? You know, I bet she's got like a lot of stuff going on. And then Gary is just more concerned about the neighbour. She's probably there like ironing boxers going, you know, she might have fibromyalgia. Gary doesn't care.
No, Gary just gets his dick sucked, doesn't
he? Yep. Do we have any advice for Gary?
Shag your own wife, Gary. No, make sure that your own wife is sexually excited. That's the one that you should be focusing on. Because I can guarantee if you're spending your time writing into Agony Ant columns that your wife will be...
That's time you could spend going down on a Gary, let's be
honest.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, sexually excite your wife, Gary. Focus on your wife.
Great. Love it. We've solved it. Gary, you are welcome.
Okay.
Next question.
I really like this girl at work, but I'm not sure quite how to broach the subject. She always seems interested when I talk to her, but I've heard she has a boyfriend. Should I send her a picture of my penis?
Well,
no.
Yeah. Next, done, sorted. Next.
If you do, you might get a call from HR. So don't do that.
What is it? Why do men assume that there is like an infinite demand for dick pics? Like, we get it, you have an infinite supply. There is not an infinite demand. This is, I'm trying to think of like another useless invention that nobody wanted.
Well, they're quite good. I get them and I'll just like show them to my mates for a laugh.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's what we do with them. They don't get us off. We like literally just like, oh my God, have you seen what this creeper sent me? And then we laugh how small it is.
We talk about your penis
With
our friends.
Girls do talk, and I probably talk a lot worse than boys talk. So don't send us pictures of your penis because we're going to laugh at it with our mates.
Yeah. You're welcome. So, yeah, don't do it. If you like her, well, I was going to say if you like her, be straightforward and ask her out. But, mate, I think you should just completely avoid this anyway, because I don't think you'd be able to ask her out and for it not to get weird. It's got to get weird.
If sending you a picture of your penis is your opening gambit, then you really need to not be with women or humans or animals, or just do some work on yourself, Gary.
He's also called Gary.
Yeah, they're all called Gary.
All of our
they're all called Gary.
all of our writers in are called Gary.
Right.
You're welcome, Gary. Next.
Okay, this one's from a lady. This one.
Okay.
It says, my boyfriend is the biggest chatterbox I've. I'll start again. My boyfriend is the biggest chatterbox I've ever met, and what makes it worse is that on the rare occasions I do manage to get a word in edgeways, he stares at me vacantly, so it's clear he's not listening to a word I say. I want to dump him, but there's a really weird reason I haven't. He's got a third nipple in the it gets better in the centre of his rib cage, and when he takes his t-shirt off, his wait. His torso. I can't. Right, hang on. No, stop laughing. Stop laughing. Right, when he takes his t-shirt off, he's got a third nipple. Oh my God. Right, this is my phone's unlocked itself. Yeah. Okay. I want to dump him, but there's a weird reason I haven't. He's got a third nipple in the centre of his rib cage, and when he takes his t-shirt off, the torso resembles a very kind-looking face. Wait, gets better. It's as though his regular nipples look like eyes. His additional his additional nipple is a little nose. And his belly button, a cute, surprised little mouth. Anyway, I've taken to calling this chest man Christopher. And when my boyfriend is sleeping, I have long conversations with him about my feelings and what's happened during my day. Christopher's a great listener, and though he never responds, it's clear he started to develop. It's clear. Hang on. It's clear he oozes compassion and sympathy. I've even started to develop strong sexual feelings for Chris, and taken to kissing his mouth/belly button when my boyfriend is snoring heavily. I realise things have gotten out of hand when I became frantic one morning last week after spotting some belly button fluff in my boyfriend's navel. Take it out, I screamed. Christopher's choking. What should I do?
This has got to be fake. This has got to be fake.
I don't know if this is a real person.
Also,
Karen. This is from Karen. Karen.
The first thing that popped into my head when you said is he's got like the face on his body made from the nipples and the belly button. Does that mean he has like a chin dick? If we're doing it in perspective, you know what I mean, like to size.
It's a funny looking dick, though, isn't it?
Like he would have, if that's his face, he would have a dick on his chin.
So his dick is his legs then? One leg.
No, like his actual penis would be on his chin, but like small, because his face is huge, because the torso is the face.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really not the crux of the situation.
That's the takeaway you get from that.
But that's what I was thinking. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Right, let's go back. So at the start, the boyfriend is not interested in anything Karen has to say.
I just think she should dump him. And then go out with a pillow or something, draw a little face on it. If she's like that, if
she likes faces that big, yeah, draw a big face on a pillow.
Boyfriend pillow. There you go.
Pillow boyfriend. I wrote a song called Pillow Boyfriend once. It was rubbish.
No, that's why I have so many pillows. It's my affection on a Sunday.
Yeah, Karen, dump him. You know, if he's not interested, But you know what, actually, Karen? It's quite a good cover if he did start to plot the revolution, the feminist revolution. He would have no idea because he just stares at you vacantly. You could get Christopher in on the action. Get Christopher in to help you. Because I don't think we can. Soz, Karen.
No, sorry, Karen. This one's a good one. My boyfriend left me while I waited in the bedroom to go chasing a Pokemon. Surely he's too old for that stuff. He's 34 and I'm 29. We are both primary school teachers and I always saw him as a sensible until he got a Pokemon Go app. Capturing Pokemon seems to mean more to him than my company now. When we go for a walk with the dog, he has his eyes glued to his phone. Last night, we were up in the bedroom having quality time. He went to get a bottle of wine. I waited for ages before going to see what was taking him so long. The front door was open and I just saw the back of him walking down the street. Later he told me he'd caught a rare Pokemon. Like that made it okay. I'm thinking I'm with the wrong man.
Dump him. I'm going to be honest. All of these questions that come in about boyfriends with crappy behaviour, the answer is going to be dump him. Like, seriously, straight women, the bar is so low. It really is. Like, why do we put up with this rubbish? Dump him.
I don't know. It was a rare Pokemon. It was rare. Like, I don't play it, but my sister was quite addicted to this, and she nearly crashed a bike coming to go for bike rides because she was chasing all the Pokemons. Heaton Park's got loads of Pokemons apparently. Is it that bad, really?
I think if you're more bothered about a game on a phone than going down on your girlfriend, there's something going on there.
Yeah. So we say dump Gary.
That's gonna be all my advice. Dump him. I mean, that's bad. I said I'd try and answer these with nuance and compassion, but just dump him.
Okay, here's another one.
Penis is free. It is always going to be free, girls.
I think this is a bloke. This one. I've fallen for a girl, but she's an anime character. Is it really a bad thing?
No, because then maybe you'll leave women alone. Next. I actually encourage more men to fall in love with anime characters because then maybe they will leave women alone.
Okay. My wife has given me an ultimatum. Either I give up my Doctor Who identity or lose her. We are both 28 and have been married for 3 years. Now she wants me to sell my memorabilia and get a job. As the Doctor, I am always working for the good of the universe. I love her, but don't want to change.
So, Doctor Who identity means quite literally you identify as Doctor Who.
I think that's the case. He identifies as Doctor Who. Is he Doctor Who then?
Right. Yeah, I mean, and they're both 28. Oh, we've been married 3 years.
Why would you marry somebody that doesn't have a job and identifies as Doctor Who and just collects Doctor Who things?
Isn't that fraud as well? I mean, did she know? Have you signed the wedding register as Doctor Who? If that's an integral part of your identity, then surely you should have some sort of paper record.
Well, I mean, she just changed gender recently, so has it invalidated the marriage?
Oh God, this is true. Yeah. Female doctor.
What does she think? What did she think about becoming a lesbian all of a sudden?
Yeah. How does this fella identify now? I mean, if your wife's she's stuck with you this far, so good on her. And if she's giving you an ultimatum, you've got to decide whether you want to identify as a fictional character or whether you want to actually live in the real world, mate.
Get a job, mate. Get a job in a comic book store.
Yeah, get a job as a character actor, doing corporate or kids' parties or whatever.
You could be an extra. Just get one of those weird jobs that, it's a job, isn't it?
I've been an extra.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite a cool job, actually.
I was in an Iceland advert. I was in a couple of Iceland adverts. I'm not lying to you. It was the ones with Peter Andre.
Oh, that's not that exciting, though.
No, it's really not. But I loved it.
I had a friend of mine used to be an extra in Vikings.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And he had really long hair and a beard, so he used to just be a Viking for 6 months a year.
I mean, it's no Iceland advert, but it's all right.
It's Icelandic.
It's true. This is true.
So that's our advice to you. Next one. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, last one, I swear. Okay, this one is quite. I know where this girl is coming from. My boyfriend recently bought an RS Turbo and openly brags about it being better than sex with me. This has really knocked my confidence. I am 18 and my boyfriend is 22. I have been seeing him since last summer and I really love him. I know I am obsessed with him, but I live every day aware that he loves his car more than me. It's really embarrassing when he compares me to it in front of his mates. What shall I do?
You know what I'm going to say. Dump him.
Yeah.
Dump him. If he cares more about your car than you, and it's in front of your mates, that's manipulation.
In front of his mates, he's trying to humiliate you.
Yeah.
Put you down.
Assert control and dominance over you. It's like, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
I had a boyfriend like this, actually.
Oh, yeah.
No, well, he wasn't an arsehole about it, but I could tell that he loved the car more than he loved me. And I hated it. I hated the car. It was a really nice car.
Yeah.
But I just ended up fucking hated her.
Yeah. God, you called it her.
I know that's why she drove me to it. But guys do this though, don't they? They really like things and objects that they own, like it's a thing that they invented.
Yeah.
But you didn't invent it, mate. You just bought it from a shop. Somebody else invented it, and you went and bought it, and now you think you own it.
But then these guys get girlfriends then, and then they realise that they can't actually own and control their girlfriends, and they resent it.
Tell him to put his dick in the exhaust.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, Darwin's law. It'll take care of itself.
Yeah, dump the motherfucker already.
Dump him.
Yeah.
I think that is it. Well, that is it for our Agony Ant section. If you have any questions, we control more Dear Deirdres, or you could ask us something relevant and we could try and give you a helping hand if possible.
We're going to be more serious next time. I think we're being a bit glib because they're like, don't feel like real people problems, even though they are real. Well, I don't know. It's Dear Deirdre. Are any of those problems real?
How long is a piece of string? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But we'll try and help you out if we can. I would still advise taking our advice with a pinch of salt. But, let's get a conversation going. That's what we're about, making more noise and getting a conversation going. So do let us know. You can DM us on Twitter at MakeMoreNoise1, or you can just tweet us directly if you want everyone to know your question, or you can send us an email. It's make.noise.mank@gmail.com.
Is that right? Is it not make.more.noise.mank?
Oh, yeah,
gmail.com.
what did I say?
You didn't say that.
Well, it's whatever TJ Lippy said. Do send us an email, and we'd love to hear from you.
Hello, welcome back. So this section, we're going to call it The Noise This Week. So we do a little roundup on the website, and it's just what's caught our eye. And we're a little bit obsessed with Twitter, so we just find which articles really sort of trigger us, really upset us, and share them, and then we just decide what we're going to talk about in our roundup. So we decided to talk about them on air and give you a flavour of what we've been thinking about this week.
Yeah, we hope to spark a bit of conversation and get us thinking about the wider feminist movement and just the questions that have been thrown up today, really. Do you want to go first? So what, out of the noise this week, what story do you want to chat to me about?
Okay, I want to go back to a story, then it keeps coming up and coming up and coming up, and it's about the Rotherham. Well, it starts off in Rotherham, but it's much broader than that. What's she called? Sammy Woodhouse.
Yeah.
She was the woman. She waived her anonymity. She was abused as a child by a rape gang. When she was 14, 15, she was basically taken in by these guys, passed around, raped. The police refused to intervene. They saw her as their boyfriend, their girlfriend, when she was a child. This went on for years. This is a story that's repeated again and again and again and again. Round the corner from us, there's Rochdale.
Yeah.
I can literally cycle there in half an hour. I'm in Rochdale, so it's really close to my heart. And it's been ignored by the left. Won't touch it with a barge pole, but we're not going to talk about that today. Today we're going to talk about what she's been campaigning about this week, which is the man who raped her fathered a child with her, and Mr. Hussein, also known as Mad Ash, was jailed for 35 years. He was like one of the head guys of the rape gang. And he was contacted by the courts and given access to the child. And Miss Woodhouse has basically just come out to say this is not okay. She's been contacted by many women who tell similar stories where abusive men are being allowed to have a role in the child's life. And obviously are just using this opportunity to traumatize the women involved. And we just think this is despicable, that the law puts the human rights of these perpetrators over the rights of the mother and the child to live unmolested from their bullshit, basically.
Yeah. I wonder if it's chaos rather than conspiracy in the courts, because there's lots of grovelling apologies, but there always are lots of grovelling apologies, and then nothing ever changes. But they're insisting that they're working in the best guidelines, and I can't imagine that the best guidelines specifically say we should put the human rights of a rapist above the trauma that it's caused to Sammy and other women like her. But that's the outcome ultimately. Well, even if that's not the intention, that's the outcome.
I think I heard her speaking on Radio 4, and she basically she had such a rough time of it that she wasn't able to look after the child, and there were stages where the child was in the care of the state, basically. So I think this is where it occurred from. So I think in many cases, these women have been abused for years, so they might not be best placed to care for the child. To get the father involved in the care, though, to me, it just seems like, how can that mother get in a place to look after that child when she's being traumatized again and again and again? How can we trust these men who have been proven to be, abusive? The way they manipulate women and use the child to control the woman. I think it's barbaric, basically.
Nobody at the city council or the courts or the social services, it just feels like there's just been a systemic failure. Like, nobody's had a critical thought about whether it's the best idea to contact the father who is in prison. Nobody's flagged that. This has gone through however many stages, and every single person has just passed it and gone, yeah, it's great. Yeah, let's give Mad Ash a call in prison. It just seems to be that nobody's saying, hang on, is this the best practice in this situation?
I think we need to look at it more broadly at the amount of women who've come forward. With similar stories. It would seem to be not just one or two cases of, unfortunately, when you make a law, there's going to be the law of unforeseen consequences. This is systemic, and I just think it's the courts are unable to deal with domestic abuse. They weren't set up for domestic abuse. They were set up to protect property, and they can't deal with rape. They can't deal with domestic abuse. The family court system is a mess. It doesn't actually serve fathers. There's a lot of good men who have refused access to their children because of the way the court systems are set up. But we're not happy about it, are we?
No. I think Sammy is she tweets a lot. So you can follow her on Twitter. I don't know her handle off the top of my head, but I'm sure if you search Sammy Woodhouse, her name will come up. She does a lot of other campaigning. I would recommend giving her a follow, seeing what she has to say and hearing what she has to say. I think the Radio 4 Women's Hour, it was the episode on Tuesday, the 4th of December, and I think it's still on BBC Sounds. I would recommend giving it a listen. And supporting local women who are campaigning for a change in the law.
Yep. Okay, you going to go next?
I am. This is also depressing. It's been a lot of depressing news this week, but it's a bit. Well, it's depressing, but these women are fighting back. So some women at Yarlswood Detention Immigration Centre have gone on hunger strike to protest the removal of some of the women on a charter flight to Ghana, I believe. They have gone, a charter flight to Nigeria and Ghana. It's set to remove at least 10 residents who are at Yarlswood. So these women, many more than just the women that are being removed, have gone on an indefinite hunger strike to protest their indefinite detention at Yarlswood. Now, Yarlswood is infamous. A couple of years ago, I think in 2014, a UN inspector who came to the UK to do a report on how the UK was doing for women was denied entry to Yarlswood Immigration Centre.
That doesn't sound good, does
Yeah,
it?
she was denied entry. Under Theresa May as Home Secretary, Yarlswood has had a huge amount of complaints brought by women who've been detained there. They complain of rape. They complain of subhuman living conditions. They complain of particularly lesbians who are fleeing from places where it's still illegal to be a lesbian, are being told they need to prove their homosexuality in incredibly lewd, horrible, traumatizing acts.
How do you do that? Like, what? Videotape it or something? Like, what's...
Well, allegedly, some security guards have been forcing them to act out, like to kiss other women, and they can judge it. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, that... I want to say that doesn't sound real, but it does sound like something that could happen.
Yeah.
It really does.
I believe that G4S have had in the past a contract with Yarlswood. I'm not sure if they still do, but they probably do. This is the
G4S, mate.
Yeah,
G4S.
This is a G4S who have been complicit in moving prisoners illegally over borders. The G4S who didn't turn up to the Olympics. This is
Oh, well, the army will do that.
Yeah.
I bet they still got paid though, didn't they?
Yeah, this is G4S. So yeah, but these women are fighting back. It's 43 women are said to be taking part. And I've just got a little quote I want to read out from somebody who described the condition. So one woman, she was branded a witch after her husband died in Nigeria. So she fled to the UK. She was given bad legal advice. She didn't apply for asylum straight away. And then she was detained in Yarlswood. And she says... she says, it's like hell. It's like you are in prison. We're treated like we are nothing. They should close this place down. She reports that there's been women who are ill there and then they're just left. There's no doctor, nothing, no medical attention brought to them. And is Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbott. She's pledged to close down the centre if Labour gets into power. And she has said, having visited Yarlswood, I witnessed the real suffering of these women and their desperation at being detained without hope of release. Indefinite detention is cruel and this approach has failed. The government needs to end this disastrous, inhumane immigration detention system and to end the failed hostile environment approach. Only then will we see the change we need. So you can find out more about what the women are doing if you Google it.
Vote Labour.
Well, I mean, we'll stay.
We're not going to talk about Labour today.
Yeah, we'll stay clear of all the politics today in depth. But I'm losing. I've lost confidence in Labour myself. But just vote for women, I would say, and vote for these women. And
is there any way we can get involved?
I would recommend writing to your MP. You can do that really easily online. Your MP, if it's Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem, SNP, wherever in the country you are, write to your MP, write to them about Yarlswood Immigration Centre. Tell them that they need to sort it out. You can do it online. I think it's just write to them. And you can also see your MP's voting record as well. I would recommend writing to your MP about Yarlswood.
Okay, next. Okay, it's my turn next. Okay, so the next one, a single mum is taking the UK government to court. She relies on the benefits. She works, but she's not working enough. She's not earning enough. Basically, she said that it's irrational. It's making her financially unstable, driving her into debt. Now, this is a common story. Basically, okay, the way it works out is that if you get paid, it works out your benefits for the month. So if you get paid on the 31st of every month, they will calculate it based on the 31st to the 31st. But if your the end of the month falls on a bank holiday for some reason, or you get paid on a different day, you may get two payments in 1 month. So the universal credit will calculate that so that you've earned like £4,000 in the month rather than £2,000.
Right.
So it will just take all your benefits off you for the next month.
Right.
So you just can't calculate what your earnings are going to be, and it can't understand the way people are paid in the modern age, and it's leading to debt, and they just basically don't understand how poor people live hand to mouth. It's my assessment of it. And these have been long in the pipeline, basically rolling all the benefits into one.
Yeah.
And they've not done it properly, and it's cost billions, and it's going to cost billions to set it right, and they've got no plans to do so, so she's taken them to the courts.
Good for her. Dinner ladies for the win.
Up the women.
Yeah, she's a single mum as well.
She is a single mum, yeah.
Come on, mums. Say it with me.
Mums. But this is something close to my own heart. I grew up in a single parent family, and the money was tight, but my mum worked. She had 2 jobs. Not because she well, she did need the money, but it was just people work so they can set a good example to their children. If we were growing up in this day and age, we would have had a very different childhood, and it's just disgusting.
I've read elsewhere about universal credit as well. It's just ripe for financial abuse. If you're in a couple, and usually the child benefit is paid to the main caregiver.
Yeah, it was set up that way. It was a direct response to financial abuse, so that the mothers would always have enough money to feed their children.
Yeah. And now it's all in a one payment so it's one payment to whichever individual. It's just ripe for abuse, and it's paid in arrears, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm on universal credit, and I'll tell you now, like it's a horrendous system. There's no financial stability, no planning, no rhyme or reason to the way that it's working out. And I'm not dependent on it in the same way that if we've got a family. And small children, it's like the poorhouse. You don't even come off it when you start to work. You can be working 30 hours a week, and you still have to go in once a week to see an advisor. To say go and get another job.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. It's war on the poor. That's what it is. It's a war on the poor. It's more than that, though. It's more war on women. There was a Commons paper released a few years ago which said that 86% of austerity cuts had fallen on women. And universal credit is a benefit that will impact a lot more on women because they tend to be single mothers, people raising children, people reliant on benefits. So this is, indirect discrimination.
Yeah, I mean, 86% of the cuts have fallen on women. Scream now if you're surprised by that information.
Yeah, sadly not.
That is the sound of exasperation. Of course it has. So the last story that we're going to do a quick chat about today is in China, a microloan culture has taken off. So millennials who can't really afford a lot of big ticket items are now getting microloans, which is pretty cool. But of course, it's ripe for exploitation. So a lot of these little microloan companies that have been set up like Afterpay are now demanding that the people that use their services send naked selfies as collateral. And of course, we're saying people that use their services. Can you guess? Can you guess which group of people?
Do they want to see dick pics?
Might be the most. Oh, I wonder if they do.
Are they asking for dick pics?
Oh God, it'll be the only time where demand is outstripping supply. No, it is women that are bearing the brunt of this. So this is a place where the cost of living is high and the chances of getting a credit card are quite low. But, millennials being the entrepreneurs that they are turned into these sites, and then women are being exploited. And there was a leak of, it was a couple of 10 gigabits of nudes from 161 young women, all of who were holding their photo IDs, were leaked online by microlenders. Most of the victims were aged between 19 and 23 and typically borrowed sums of money between $1,000 and $2,000. So that's American dollars, I think. So like £1,200 to just over £2,000 in the Queen's good money.
Why were they leaked? Is there any information? Like, was it just for shits and giggles, or did they not pay, or like what's just men doing porn?
I mean, it could have been a data hack by somebody who wanted to shame this or to exploit this micro lending company. I don't know. It doesn't actually say in the article that I've seen and that Make More Noise shared. But, you know, if you do know, let us know. If you know any more about it or have any further reading, let us know and we can tweet it out for people who are interested in this story. But I think this, you know, this is happening in China, but in the UK as well. You know, young people, particularly young women, financial stability is just, it's
universal credit.
It's becoming further and further away, like out of grasp, you know, and people are always going to exploit that. People are always going to exploit women. And I don't have a solution. I'm just pointing out the problem and doing nothing about it.
Stop! Don't send any nudes of yourself to anybody.
Yeah.
Don't, even if you've not got your face on it. Like, just don't do it. Probably. Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously good advice, but sometimes if people are in a bind, you know, what choices do you have? But that's the way it works. What we need is a complete overhaul, a complete revolution. No currency. Let's go back to trading. Let's go back to women-centered communities where we just
trade a baby.
Yeah.
I made this baby.
Oh, that, yeah, it's a product of your labour.
Well, it is.
Literally and figuratively.
I own this baby. No, don't do that. We're going to have a different currency system. A baby-based infrastructure.
A 4-day work week and people will have the things that they need. And I mean, I don't have a solution to end capitalism. I'm just happy to point out the problems.
Eat the rich.
Yeah.
Eat them.
Let's go Jonathan Swift style. And yeah. But that's it from The Noise this week. If you have any more reading that you'd like to do on the things we've discussed, do let us know. If you have any suggestions for what we should put into our noise roundup, please do tweet us. Make More Noise 1.
If you've got any feedback, just say hello to us. We're very nice. We don't bite. Yeah, much appreciated. Just say hello.
So, welcome back. We are going to end our inaugural podcast. We hope you've liked it with just a little shout out of interesting events that are coming up. We also want to tell you to check out our website. If you type in Make More Noise Manchester, it should come up. Our link is also on our Twitter bio. So you can click through on that.
Make More Noise 1.
Yep, it's a free website, so it has Wix all over it because we can't afford a proper URL yet. So if anybody is telling you that grassroots feminism is funded by some big oligarch somewhere, just direct them to our website and they'll get a clearer picture. So yeah, what do we have coming up at the moment that people might be interested in?
We've got some statues.
Yeah,
statues, statue unveilings, not just statues. The 14th of December, why is the 14th of December important?
Could it be because it was on the 14th of December in 1918 that women first exercised their right to vote?
Oh, that's good, isn't it? You're clever. Yeah, it's that.
Definitely didn't just Google that.
No, like we know these things because we're feminists, isn't it? So in my neck of the woods is Annie Kenner. She's got a statue coming out. She's
coming out. I like that, like an album.
Coming out, yeah. So she's from Saddleworth. She's like one of the working class girls in the feminist movement, as it was. It wasn't known it was the feminist movement back then, was it? She was born in Saddleworth. She started working when she was 10. Worked in a factory. She got promoted when she was 14. She was like top of the game at 14. She joined the WSPU.
Yep.
When she what's that stand for?
It's the Women's Social and Political Union. I think it was founded in 1903 by Emmeline Pankhurst, also a Manchester lass.
But Annie Kenner was when Christabel Pankhurst, she spat in a copper's face once and like kicked off the feminist movement. She was there with her, and so she was all in the movement. They kind of like used her as like their token working class girl. She had this picture of her with like a little shawl over her head, and she hated it. But like they used to use it for publicity because they were smart. They were like, oh no, like this is like a union of all the different women.
I didn't know that actually. That's really interesting.
Yeah, she hated it. She was like, no, you know, bit of a slag as well. She's basically she can read it. She basically shagged all of the other suffragettes, and her and Christabel went out for a few years. Interesting facts.
I did not.
See?
This is brand new.
They don't teach you this in the history books, do they? So yeah, apparently when she spat in the face, I think they were going out at the time or soon after.
Christabel was like, "That's hot."
Spit in my face.
I love it.
So she's on the 14th of December. She's got a statue opening up in Oldham. Google it. You can find out more information if you want to go down, take some photographs, show your support. I'm thinking of going down there, but I might not, because what else is happening that day?
There is also the unveiling of the statue of MMN Podcast, the kind of the face and the name of the suffragette movement as well, and that is in central Manchester on the same day because it's such an auspicious day.
St. Peter's Square.
Yeah, St. Peter's Square. So yeah, if you want to come into town, battle through the crowds, come and see MMN Podcast. Or here we go, Annie Kenny, and I'm learning so much about her.
Annie Kenny. If you're in Oldham way, I'm gonna say go for Kenny. I'm team Kenny.
Yeah,
you've never heard of her, but she's like the best one. It's just because she was working class. She's been excluded from the books, hasn't she?
Quelle surprise,
yeah.
Cool. So that's the big feminist news that's coming up in the next few weeks round our neck of the woods. If you have anything coming up near where you are, want to get it tweeted out or something, just let us know. Happy to tweet
it out. We want to know more. Grassroots. So if you've got an event, it doesn't matter where it is in the country. Internationally, we've got followers from quite a few places now, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got my cousin from France. No, we've got a few international followers, so we would definitely love to hear from you. You can check out more stuff on our website. We do a weekly news roundup every week. We have a couple of articles, one about the wider culture of misogyny at Goldsmiths,
my old college.
And we have other more light-hearted ones. Have you ever wondered where men will put their penises when they're not sending you dick pics? Maybe they're like knobbing lasagnas. Who knew?
Yeah, it's quite an eye opener. Yeah.
We cover lots of other stuff there as well, so do check it out. We're going to be putting more stuff on the website about how to start your own grassroots thing. We're going to be putting more media on there. Once we do more podcast episodes, you can find it on the website too. And please do let us know any thoughts, feelings or opinions, and dick pics if you want. We'll just laugh at them and tell everybody and show them everybody. So
no, don't worry. We're not going to put them. We're not going to put them on the webpage or anything. We're not going to play that game.
No.
I've been DJ Lippy.
I've been Sobering Maid.
We've been the podcast with no name.